You know, I'm just starting this out. I'm brand new to making YouTube videos, and I'm not that good at it yet. So excuse me if sometimes it may seem a little boring, or it may seem like I'm talking too much or not enough. Please forgive me. I'm still working at this. I do love plants and gardening, so I'm just trying to make a little something out of it. Here. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Green Journal Entries. I was just thinking about recording because across the street they have construction going on, and it's a lot of noise. They have this big piece of equipment drilling piers into the ground for the footings of a new construction, and it's quiet. So I said, you know what, let me jump in real fast. I guess they're going on lunch or break, or I don't know, but I figured I'd jump in there real quick. Today I was going to put together a little bit of potting mix. I have a few plants that I need to put some mix together and pot them. I have an abundance of plants, as you can see behind me. That doesn't even count the ones in the house. And so I had a few things here, and I also have a surprise for you today too. So if you stay tuned, you'll see what I'm talking about. But what I have in front of me here is some vermiculite, worm castings, some coconut coir, and a regular bag of potting mix. Usually when you go to the store, you see these potting bags and you're like, oh, let me go ahead and get some potting mix. This isn't enough. What comes in here is a bunch of mulch, very little dirt at all. It's not even really dirt, it's just a medium for your plants to grow in. And honestly, I wish I would have got some like topsoil or something like that, but this worked just fine. But it's just mulch, perlite, and a couple of branches and twigs. And so I wanted to kind of spruce this up a little bit and add a little bit more, just a little bit more nutrients. It makes it, your plants will love it. Vermiculite is volcanic rock that is very light and airy. It retains moisture, but it also makes the soil a little bit arid, so your plants, your roots, can get the oxygen that they need. Worm castings are always good. It's the remains of worm poop. So worms go in the dirt, they eat, and then they secrete out nitrogen. And so this is what this is. Worm casting is it's a 1.2500, so that's 1.25% nitrogen, and it also has 1% calcium in it as well. So that's good to add to any soil. Worm castings go a long way. And then you have coconut coir, which is pretty much the husk of a coconut. They take it and they ground it up. Manufacturers, they use the coconut, they get the coconut water out of it for your coconut water, and then they also take the coconut shavings and you put it on your cakes, you put it in margaritas and things like that. But then the husk is left remaining, and what they do is they found out that you can just grind it all together and sell that, and somebody would buy it. Well, I bought it, but what it does is it's actually good at retaining water. It retains a fair amount of water, actually. So here, perfect. Holds up to 150% of its own weight, and I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what it says. But it does retain a bunch of water. I mean, you could take it and just collect this, and water will come out. Perfect for plants, tropical plants that need that watering, that need damp soil. So it's perfect. So no further ado, let's kind of just jump into it. So now that you're in closer, so what I'm going to do, because since I have a big bag of soil, of the potting soil, what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to add in my cocoa coir first. Only because, I don't know why I call it cocoa coir. Did I just call it cocoa coir? I did. And this stuff is just so pretty. Check it out. Look at that color. Isn't that just pretty? It's like it's ground up cocoa. It's just so pretty. So anyway, I'm going to pour all of that in there. Pour all that in there. Get rid of this bag. That way I don't have it floating around no more. And because it's Texas heat, this stuff is hot. Well, it's just warm. But the water that this stuff retains is insane. I mean, it's like a sponge. You know what I mean? Look at that. Now, if I add water to it, I mean, I could just squeeze it out. But let's stop playing here. Then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the vermiculite. And like I said, this is real. This is volcanic rock, and it's fine grain or grade, and this is what it looks like. So it's really fine stuff, but it holds in moisture as well. But it's also going to let the soil drain easily, because it retains moisture, but because of the grade, it's so thick, it's like a sand almost. It's just going to be able to drain easier. So I'm just going to eyeball it. That ought to be good. Nope. Okay, now we're good. Tell you, I don't actually have a measurement for any of this stuff. I just kind of eyeball it to where I want it. And I go in there and mix it up. You know, get that nice and mixed up. Yep, smells good. Smells really good. It doesn't stink bad. It's not bad at all, actually. It actually has a pretty decent smell. Kind of smells like a freshly constructed building after the paint and the walls have been painted and they go in there and the AC's on. Okay, so that is the cocoa coir and the vermiculite together. Now, I'm going to go ahead and throw in this whole bag of worm castings. The whole bag. Just go ahead and tear the seal and pour it in. And this stuff is so rich, so black. I mean, look at that. Look at that. I mean, this stuff, ladies, gentlemen, I love this stuff. Look at that. That is rich soil. It's almost like it's painted. I tell you what, I was working, I live out here in Texas, and I was working on Fort Hood. Fort Hood is the military post around here in Killeen. And so we were out in the airfield and we were doing some digging. I am a electrician, and so we were out in the airfield and we were digging, and up there the soil is so black. I mean, it's just like this, but it's clayed up. I mean, can you imagine how fertile that soil is? I mean, you could grow anything. And that's why I say that worm castings can be thrown. You can throw worm castings into anything, because the soil is so rich. You know, it's so rich that you can grow anything out of worm castings. Now this one, this particular brand, it's all organic. And that one is just the soil enricher. That one doesn't have many. I think I want to add another bag of worm castings. This is too light. I have another bag of worm castings in the house. Oh no, it's right here. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add this second bag of worm castings because I want the soil to be rich, and I want volume. I want a lot of it, so I don't have to do this anymore. So that's 2 bags of worm castings that I just used, and I still have to add in the potting soil, which I'm not going to add too much of that anyway, because it's just all sticks and what do you call it? Mulch. Oh yeah, let's get in here and get dirty. Mix it up nice and well, you know, good and everything. And this is going to be so good for your plants. They're going to love you. They are going to love you if you do it like this. If you just take those 4 ingredients, and I'll even add a few extra things, and I'll show you. But you take some worm castings, some vermiculite, some coir, and you mix this together. Look at that. That's what you want. And it's so light. It's very light, but it's dense enough for the soil, for your roots to go in there and soak up nutrients, but arid enough, and they get the oxygen. All right, so that's in there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a few handfuls of this stuff, because this is mulch. I don't even know if I got the right kind. This is not really what I wanted. I don't think I like this. This is mulch. But the bag says potting soil. This isn't mulch. I don't like this stuff. We're going to mix it in there anyway. It's in there now. We're going to mix it in there anyway. That I don't know why that it says potting soil. There ain't no soil. Nothing about that is soil. It's all... Anyway. Yeah, so we're done with that. We're not going to actually use the potting soil. It says ideal for repotting plants. Ready to use. And it says the ingredients. This product is regionally formulated with Canadian spadum peat moss, reed seed, sand, rice hulls, perlite, limestone for pH control. In Georgia, this product contains processed pine bark. You know, it's not all that bad when you read the ingredients. I will take that pH control, and it does have these little fertilizers in it, which I don't really like those. So I'll just add another 2 handfuls, 3 handfuls in here, and I'll mix it all together. All right. Okay. And we're getting somewhere. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something a little different. And I'm going to probably have people say, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? You know, not everything. Well, look here. You know, I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. You're going to do the way that you're going to do it. And that's just how it is. So, I'm going to add a little bit of Epsom salt. I got a bag of Epsom salt. Magnesium sulfate. And this stuff is good for plants. And I'm just going to go ahead and, out of this whole container, I'll probably fill this up. So. There we go. And see, now that's like putting in some plant food right there. And I just sprinkle it with the salt. And that is going to be enough for the whole thing. Because I don't want salt water, but I do want the plants to have a little bit of sulfate magnesium. And that's perfect. Mix it in there. There we go. There we go. Mix it up really good, really good. I'm telling you, I'm out here, I'm sweating. Mixing this stuff up. I am just sweating my balls off here. Did I say that? I didn't mean to say that. Okay. Finished. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean up and I'll bring you back. So, stay tuned. Alright, so here's what we got going on. Maybe I should have cleaned my hands, but they're going to get dirty anyway. I went out to the store yesterday and I bought some plants. And so, the reason why we made that mix is because I have a few plants that I need to repot. And a few of them, like this one here. This is called a mini white. Kind of got me. You know, when I looked at it, it immediately reminded me of some kind of small reptile, or maybe even like a snake or something, because the leaves kind of give off this, I'm not sure, but they kind of look reptilian to me. And so I wanted to go ahead and repot this before it got too comfortable in here. And by the looks of it, it looks like it may be a little bit root bound. So we're going to go ahead and repot this. And I was thinking about maybe putting it in something like this. And so that's perfect right there. Perfect size. So we're going to do that. And then also, yesterday, I went to Lowe's. They had a clearance. This is like the perfect time. This is a dying hibiscus. This is going to be the project of my channel for a little while, is to restore this hibiscus. Here in Texas, we have about 4 more months of good weather. 4 months of good weather. That's a lot of time. This should be able to come back, bring some leaves up. So we'll see what kind of miracle I'm working. I don't know how they let this die over at Lowe's, but it seems like it's root bound in here. Oh yeah. And we might be able to bring it back to get to life. The bark is still green, and I heard that was a good indicator that it is still alive. And another test is if you can't snap these completely in half, that means they're still alive. There's still moisture running through here. So we can bring this back, and this will be beautiful to see, because right now we're just looking at a bunch of sticks. It looks like that potting soil that we just tried to put in here, or that we did put in here. So let me bring you in closer, and we can get a better view of what we're going to do here. I found out that my camera wasn't even recording the entire time afterwards. I planted that miniature white. So you didn't get to see me finish completely what I was doing with that, and that's fine. That's fine. But at least you get to see the hibiscus transplant go on. So what I have here is just a bucket of some extra soil, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this old hibiscus soil, because whatever killed it, or if them lack of watering it, whatever killed it could be locked up in this soil. So I want to go ahead and just really try to get as much of this soil I can out. And it's going to be kind of hard because it's just root bound. I mean, the roots are just, they just took complete control of the soil. And I mean, that's the problem. It just got too big for its container. And I might even have to go a step higher and plant this in something bigger, because the roots in the soil is just so dry. Oh my gosh. Normally what you could do is you take a knife and just cut it. That's what I've seen some people do. I think when I was working for a landscaping company back ago, that's what we did when we just when we had plants. We just literally take them and cut the roots, because the roots are going to grow back, and some parts of the plant will die off, and that's fine. You know, it's going to grow back. So like I said, I want to get as much dirt as I can. It's just completely root bound. There's roots all over the place. There was nothing left for this plant to eat other than itself. And all the roots that are in here, you know, at this point, whatever's dead, it's dead anyway. You know, I'm just gonna take. It's just completely root bound. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Let me get this out. That's good, because it ain't. I don't want to mess it up anymore. I want to give this a surviving chance, and I just wanted to loosen those roots up so they can go somewhere else. And what we'll do is I'm going to cover this up, because as you see, this is all roots up here on the top, and they're just dried out. And that's why this plant was dying too. So I went to Target. They were having a clearance, and I'm going to put this hibiscus in a pot big enough for it. This is I don't know how many quarts this is, but this pot should be a lot better for this plant to grow into. You know, and eventually I will have to transplant it again, but this will get it to grow. I think that's perfect, because if you set that in there, it's really a whole step bigger. So that's perfect. And so we'll take this, my little plastic deals, says that it already has a hole at the bottom, and I think that's fine enough. And fill it. Get it in there and fill it up. Now I don't want to put too much dirt down here, because I want the roots on top to still be covered with a nice layer of soil. You know what I mean? So that right there is that's gonna work. We can do it like that. Okay. So that same scoop that I got earlier, just go ahead and put a little plant food in there, toss it up, may even throw a little fresh dirt in there. and set this hibiscus right on top of that soil. Come behind it and just fill it up. Poor thing. Man, I tell you what, if I get this thing to regrow, that means I know something. That means I might have a chance at succeeding as being a gardener. All right. And I'm gonna let the water kind of take it down. And this bad boy needs some water. Poor thing. I mean, it just sticks. I'm almost kind of curious as to how to prune it. Like, how do I bring it back? Not sure on how to prune it. I'll have to look that up. If you guys know how to prune it, please leave a comment down below. Let me know so I can go ahead and help this thing out. And I'm just going to go ahead and completely saturate this soil. We're going to wake those roots back up. I'm just going to saturate it. Until I see it drain out the bottom. There we go. So now we have drainage. Get those top layer roots saturated. And what I'll do is I'll just throw another little layer of dirt to keep those top roots covered. Okay. And that is our hibiscus, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see this in a few weeks and see where it goes. For now, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to take it and put it over. And one thing I should have done was put a paper towel underneath. So you see all that soil and stuff coming out of there. Put a paper towel underneath it so it would have kept some of that in there. But it's okay. It's always okay. With me, it's always okay. It's not a big deal. Well, that completes today's episode of journal entries, green journal entries. As of today was a good day. Today was a good day. It was, because I got the hibiscus replanted and hopefully given a new chance to start something new. I got the miniature me's that I thought I was recording, and obviously I wasn't. You'll see those in a later episode. They look beautiful over there. They actually look like they're enjoying their new pot already. We have a few more things to take care of, but as for today, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. I have a lot of content that I want to put out, fun and interesting things. I'm a fun and interesting person. So if you're watching my shows and you're watching my channel, you're going to get laughs. You're going to get entertainment, for sure. You're going to get entertainment, and you might get some kind of education out of it as well. As for me, I have to clean up. So that means you guys have to go. Once again, thanks for watching. Tune in next time to Green Journal Entries. See you soon. Alright. Now I got all this dirt on this freaking
tile here, concrete tile. I knew better than that. Maybe next time I'll do something different.